It's been a busy morning. My phone hasn't stopped blowing up for the past hour.
What happened?
We just released our cover of Hunger Strike.
Ah, very nice.
With Lejean from Seven Dust.
All right. I haven't heard it yet. I saw it just on the homepage, and I thought, like, oh, this could be a cover song.
Yeah. We just put it out this morning or last night at midnight, nice. And so it's lots going on.
Yeah, we were happily surprised to have you back here in Europe with Heavy Is the Crown. And we were like, yeah, well, here he is again. It's all there. Because just to be quite honest, I thought for a moment, a couple of years ago, we'd lost you to pop music.
Yeah, I thought I lost myself too. It's one of those interesting things where you find yourself in the throes of success and following trends that your peers or even the people that work for you are telling you that you got to do this to stay relevant, or we got to change up the sound if we want to stay on the radio, and nobody's playing guitars anymore. And then you start to believe this hype. Yeah. And then you step back and go, wait a minute, I did all these changes and we didn't have any of the success that you promised would happen if we did these things. So why am I not just doing what I love? And when we parted ways with RCA, when I parted ways with RCA and finished my contract, and I stepped back and was like, what do I want to do? What is the music that made me want to do this in the first place? As a 16-year-old kid, and I started going back and listening to those old records, like, Facelift and Dirt and Bad Motorfinger, Super Unknown, Live Throwing Copper and Secret Samadhi. Those records that really made me want to be a musician and to be a rock singer. I was like, that's what I want to do. And I started to feel alive again. And I was like, holy shit, I've been missing out on doing what I actually love. And it's been great to be independent and to create, what we've wanted to create for a long time now. And the fact that people are embracing it and not going, no, you lost us a long time ago, we're done. Good try. It feels really good that people are like, oh, finally, this is what we've been waiting for.
Is Heavy Is the Crown the title track of the coming record?
No. I haven't announced the album title yet, but yeah. It is coming soon. It is. We've finished our parts on the record, me and the guys, and now it's in post-production and mixing and all that. But it's coming this year. I will say that.
Yeah, we're really so much looking forward to this, and we're curious as hell, as you can imagine. Can you tell us what Heavy Is the Crown is all about?
Well, I've always thought that songs mean different things to different people, but at the same time, it means something different to us when, like, especially for me as a writer, like, it'll mean one thing when I'm writing it, and then it'll turn into something else. And I remember, for instance, when we wrote World on Fire, that was before COVID. That was before, the George Floyd incident. That was before many other of these police brutality incidents that you've heard all about. Yet, lyrically, it feels like it was exactly about that. And it was this weird kind of foreshadowing, or it just happened to mean, I wrote it when Australia was on fire, and there was no shortage of police brutality or screwed up things in the world. Yeah. And that kind of informed the lyrics. And with Heavy Is the Crown, my keyboard player Elvio, he had sent over this verse and chorus idea, like, hey man, what do you think of this? And do you think this will work for the record? And it was Heavy Is the Crown. And I just felt like this, like, I felt like if World on Fire was kind of a hard look at the world and what's going on around us, that Heavy as the Crown was the answer to that, and to show that we all have this heavy responsibility to do the right thing, this heavy responsibility, whether it be over our families or, you know, our own proverbial castles, or just carving your way without, you know, conforming to societal norms, like, you know, major record labels or, or, you know, anything like that, where you're trying to carve your own path and create your own success, create your own life. That's a heavy responsibility, but it's also very liberating when you know that you have the power to do that. So, and I think, to me now, that's kind of what it symbolizes, is that we all have the weight of the world on our shoulders. Nobody's different. You know, we all, you could talk to, you think you got it bad until you talk to the next person. And then you're like, oh shit, you're going through something way worse than me. I feel like I can stop complaining now, you know? And that happens to me daily. I feel like you know, like I'm overwhelmed. It's too much. And then I'll get perspective by talking to a friend of mine and what they're going through. And I'm like, oh, never mind, I'll shut up. You know?
You know, we're talking now, although we talk, you know, via Zoom, we talk almost like normal. But how did you hold up through times like these? I mean, how was that for you, the whole thing? It feels like the tension is getting a little bit weaker of all, you know, with the vaccination and everything, and especially in the US. I think you guys are very fast forward with all the, you know, we're going back to some kind of normality or whatever that is. But how were the last 2 years for you?
Yeah, it started off kind of rocky, you know, thinking, you know, this was all new to everyone. We didn't know if we were going to be, you know, when they said, you got to stay in your house for 2 weeks, I was like, I can manage that. I guess that's not too bad. And then 2 weeks later, we're still in our house and we're hearing these rumblings of, this might last for months. This might last for 6 more weeks. And it was terrifying because we had never experienced anything like that. And I'm used to, when things get tough, I'm used to escaping on the road. I'm used to getting back out there and performing, and like, I don't want anything to do with this. And I couldn't leave. I couldn't escape. And I think it was a very introspective year, because it forced me to see things within myself that maybe I had ignored for years, things that I felt were very clear that I needed to work on within myself. And I think it kind of helped me with a bit of an identity crisis, you know, and I realized how much of my identity was wrapped up in being on stage and being on the road, and how much of my self-worth was wrapped up in the fans' praise, you know. And when that was all kind of stripped away, I had to be like, well, who am I? You know, like, and I feel like a lot of people have been forced to kind of look in the mirror a lot these past 2 years, and for worse or for better, I chose to do something about it, and really sit with myself and start meditating and start really trying to see things that I needed to work on as a husband, as a parent, you know, as a friend. And for that, I'm like super grateful that we got this much needed pause from the mundane or the routine of normal life. But with all that said, I'm kind of ready to get back out there and get back to some normalcy again.
You know, I talked to a lot of musicians, and they obviously, a lot of them used the chance with the break that they would just go ahead and start and write new music. How was that for you? Did you go like, well, I got 20 songs in line now and I can finish them? Or was it like, nah, I don't feel like, you know?
Well, we had started the record pre-COVID. So I had about 6 songs written for the record that I was working on with my producers, Marty Fredrickson and Scott Stevens. And we had some good momentum going, and then COVID hit and everything just took a pause. But World on Fire was already written and recorded, and we just had to get the band on it. So we got the band on it, and they did all their parts at home, and it worked out. Wasn't our favorite situation. I like being around the guys. I like experiencing the vibe, but it worked out and it was great. And we put it out, and I felt like it bought us a little bit of time. But at the same time, during this whole break, it's just one thing after another. And it was no shortage of things to write about. So whenever I was able to get back into the studio, I had all kinds of ammunition to I had song ideas on my phone that would hit me while I was in the bathroom, or late at night out in the just chilling out in my hot tub outside, and a song idea will hit me, and one of them is turned into what's going to be the next single, and it's probably one of my favorite songs I've ever written. And it's weird how I don't think if everything had stayed the same and we were going back out on the road, I don't think I would have written half the songs for this record. And I don't think this record would have turned into what it needed to turn into. But I'm very happy and grateful for that break. So I was able to fully focus on the record, fully focus on the type of videos I wanted to make for this album, and all the artwork surrounding it. I've been more involved than I think I've been in my entire career. And it's a lot of work. My head is spinning in 8 different orbits, but I feel more artistically fulfilled than I felt in my entire career.
Are you a little bit afraid of what the reaction might be once the record comes out? Because you get very good reactions about the single and everything, and that that the guitars are back and everything. But then again, putting out a record is something different entirely. You go like, what's the feedback gonna be? Are they gonna like it or not? Don't they? Are you nervous about that?
I think there's always a bit of that, and that just means you care. There's always that. I mean, I feel that way before I go out on stage every night. There's always that, like, I hope they're excited. I hope they are, excited to see us as we are to see them. But I actually don't think they've heard anything yet. That's how good I feel about this record. I feel like they've gotten a tip of the iceberg, and I feel like we've created something very magical in this record that it's hard for me to explain right now, because the only thing that's out is the 2 songs, but it feels very real. I think there's something on it for everyone. But the 2 songs that you heard, I will say this: it's not the only rock songs on the record. Because I know it'll be easy to think like, oh, maybe this is all they're giving us, and then we're going to get a record full of pop. And that's not the case.
But with you putting out, a real rock record, whatever, rock is rock music, has the situation and the atmosphere and everything about this whole music in the US changed a little bit? That bands go back from being overly produced into, whatever direction, and then just focus on the real thing again? Or are you leading the momentum?
Well, I don't know about that, but I do see a lot of bands going back to those organic roots. Mammoth. The new Seven Dust record. Who else have I been listening to a lot? The Greta Van Fleet stuff. It feels like. And I think everything is cyclical. And I think in general, people want to hear real instrumentation and real music again. And I think, I have the utmost respect for every genre, and I think there's a place for it. But, I think as a fan of music, I want to hear, a band behind their instruments and it not be perfect, it not be, overly produced and glossed over with, all the bells and whistles. And I think we took a lot of that into consideration while making this record. Obviously we want it to sound great, and we want it to sound, like it all has a common thread, but I think we attacked it very organically, and I think people are going to see that.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I got to ask you something, because this is on the tip of my tongue. Like, when you did The Masked Singer, how much did you fight for going out there dressed as Batman?
That would have been funny. That would have been too dead of a giveaway, but they kind of have their costumes already picked out, and you get to just see which one you resonate with the most.
All right.
And but that was a lot of fun. I don't think I've ever had that much of a struggle in performing in my life, because you have all this weight of a costume, and then you've got this mask on that's covering all your air supply.
Yeah.
And it's real. It's live. I mean, you are singing into this microphone through this little screen under the mask. And God, it was very difficult I couldn't see where I was. So half the time I couldn't tell if I was facing the cameras the right way. But it was a lot of fun. It was certainly an experience.
You nailed all the songs. I mean, I love the Hall & Oates version of.
Thank you. That was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite performances.
Nice. I had to ask you. So, it seems like the US is waking up again. Concerts are being announced, tours are being announced. When is your tour going to be announced, or is it already out there?
We're working on it. We are. Right. We are Yeah, we're still trying to figure out the venues and confirmations on what dates they can do, but it is in the works right now. And all I can say is we're going to be announcing something soon. We're really excited. We can't wait to get back out there and see the fans. We did the virtual acoustic thing back in the fall, and that was fun. It was nice to perform at some capacity, but it definitely does not take the place of the real experience.
Do you think there's going to be any chance of us seeing you guys live over here?
Oh, we hope so. We miss overseas. We miss Europe. We miss Germany. We get so much support over there. And it always feels fresh every time we come over there. It's sometimes you perform in the States. I think it's going to be very different now that we've had, almost 2 years off. People are going to be clamoring to, see the show, but you play the same place all the time and people are like, yay. you go over Europe and everybody like, yeah! That's what we love.
Oh, nice, man. When was the last time you were over here? I don't even remember.
The last time we were in Europe was with Nickelback on the on the Feed the Machine tour, I believe. Yeah, that was in 2018, 17.
Yeah, right.
17. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while.
Too long. Too long. It's been about 3 years. Yeah.
Well, nice one. And I think actually I have no more further questions.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm done, Your Honor.
Awesome.
Is there anything I forgot you to ask? Anything?
I will just say that, check out Hunger Strike. We just released that today, and the video for Heavy as the Crown is coming soon, and it's next level. It's crazy. Yeah. Little tease there.
When you go on tour and you go back out, is your wife coming and putting this Deadpool figure away into the storage, or is it going to be still there?
This is my room. This is the only room in the house that she doesn't get to touch. And it's full of Batman shit everywhere. But this was actually given to me on that tour with Nickelback by Chad. He brought it out on stage on the last show. God, where was the last show? Was it in Hamburg? Was it in Germany? I want to say our last show might have been in Germany, which is actually when I received this. But nevertheless, I was on that tour the last time we were in Europe. So yeah, she doesn't get to touch Deadpool. That's he guards over my office and makes sure nobody messes with anything.
Nice one. Well, good luck to you.
Sir,
hey, thank you very much. It was great talking to you.
Hope to see you soon in person back here again.
Very much so. Likewise. Thank you. Be well. Take care.
Have a great day.
All right. You too.